You are watching the #1 podcast in the whole entire YouTube wrestling community, and I'm one of your hosts, Juanzo.
And I'm your other host, John Paul Leek.
Together we are Greg, and welcome to one more episode of NXT Review. We're going to be talking about every single thing that happened, like for the preview for NXT Stand and Deliver. And I think that, like you were mentioned before we went on air, I think a lot of things may be okay, but like just, the ending was really bad. I don't think that like it got me hyped for the women's match actually. So I don't even want to see night one, the main event, because I saw it like throughout the whole show. But despite that, I think that like the NXT Takeover is going to be a pretty good show.
Yeah, I agree that I do think the pay-per-view will be good. A lot of the matches on there are really solid. But like NXT's been recently, a lot of the matches on there also don't look very, good at all. So, and this show was the same thing. It was 50-50 for me. Some of it was good. Some of it was shit. And like we've been talking about, they overexposed the Io Shirai Raquel Gonzalez match, 3 or so segments. Too much going on with that. Kind of takes you out of it a little bit. But I do think, Stand and Deliver, with it being 2 days, it's like they really try to get so much build, so much hype. And it's like, you can't focus on all of it. It's like trying to put too much on your plate at the buffet. It's all going to mix together and just be bullshit.
Yeah, like you said, it's a lot, but we're going to be trying to like dissect and analyze every single little thing. So welcome, and be with us. Don't forget to subscribe, hit that bell for notifications, and also support us with Jean Paul's own Monday Night Raw review right there. King Corbin one more time aligned with Bobby Lashley, or like he calls him, Burger King Corbin. This was just awful. Also, a lot of backlash. So you please watch the review with Jean Paul. A lot of backlash from like this situation, like why her business is split up. So this situation, like, tell me a little bit about Paul.
Yeah, and like the Hurt Business it's like, okay, Retribution sucks, but at least we have the Hurt Business. That group is legit. Oh, nope, not anymore. Unless Corbin is, going to be in the Hurt Business. And to me, that's like when, who is it, Crush or whatever was in the Nation. It's like, yes, one of these things is sticking out here. But, that's what Corbin to me. He doesn't fit this group at all. And as I was watching Monday Night Raw, some people said, oh, this might be Lesnar who comes out. And it's like, that would be like a holy shit moment. One we haven't seen in a while, because people said, no, it's not Lesnar. And it wasn't, because we got the disappointment of Baron Corbin.
Yes, exactly.
So I don't like this. And this is another thing, too, almost with Io. This whole Drew McIntyre and Lashley feud, it's so shoved down your throat. It's like I almost don't even want to see it anymore.
Exactly. It's like, because like I feel like they start the build up like sometimes like a way ahead, like they give it like a month and a half, 2 months. It's like, can we get the match already? Because like you give me so many turns to get me to the same route. So like, but please, John Paul has every single thing that happened on Monday Night Raw, so please watch it. And thank you everybody that has supported the video. So let's start with this show. Cameron Grimes going against Roderick Strong. This was okay. I like how Cameron Grimes was trying to bribe a little bit of Roderick, and he's like, oh, remember, like, oh, he got like the shirt, and he's like Grimes like era, or like
it's like Grimes the System or whatever. It's gonna shock the system and all that. Yeah,
Grimes the System also. Like, he comes out, he starts like keep putting that idea for Roderick Strong that like, hey, we need to be a group, we need to be like a tag team. There's just like this situation, but also it tells you that Roderick Strong is not over the Undisputed Era yet. So like there's still glimpses of like, oh, so I still feel bad. So they have the match, and it was a pretty decent match. Also Cameron Grimes finally getting in the ring instead of like cutting the promos, which are good, but like when they're overly done, it doesn't make a lot of sense, or at least it takes away from like the wrestler that Cameron Grimes is. And Roderick Strong giving us a pretty good match. He did an Olympic slam, so Apollo Crews and Kurt Angle, can we please give me another move? That's fine. But tell me a little bit about this. He saw Undisputed Era shirt right there, and he doubted. So I think that like, they're going to try to put that idea in our heads, that like Roderick Strong is not over the Undisputed Era.
Oh, yeah, that's the main story with this. Not like story of the match, but just of this feud. It's like Roderick Strong, he still is holding on to the Undisputed Era, and Cameron Grimes is kind of like making fun of it a little bit. So that's, really getting under his skin and all that stuff. So, that's kind of where this match originated from, and that's really what cost him in the end. But, it was a really good match between these two guys, both super talented. Grimes, even though he's funny and goofy, he's a hell of a wrestler, and Roderick Strong, everybody knows how good he is, but, he had that Undisputed Era armband, down at his Twig and Berries, and he pulls that out, and then, Roderick Strong probably smelled it and got distracted, and, no, he actually, he went to go punch him with it, which, I don't understand why he would punch him holding a wristband, armband, whatever. That's not going to make your punch any more powerful, but, Roderick Strong ducked it, that's when he hit the big Olympic slam, And then he saw it, there, and he's like, huh, what's this? That distracted him enough for him to hit the cave-in. And, after a good match, Cameron Grimes, I'm glad he got the win here because I was really thinking, oh, this is just for Roderick Strong to win.
Oh, yes,
but,
exactly.
Cameron Grimes, that was a shock and, good opening match.
Yeah, man, like you said, he still leaves. So, like, he's still confused. He's not over yet. He's still in that, he's grieving the Undisputed Era. I lost all my friends. I got nothing. The next moment, I got everything. Now I got nothing. So, all of that. So, I feel that, that was okay.
I'm surprised they haven't had, I don't know, I forget if he's hurt or whatnot, but that they just didn't have Bobby Fish do, a video thing.
He's hurt.
Yeah, but just do, a video thing. They'd be Roderick is legit, blah, blah, blah.
He should be the piece that tries to, get all of them together. Be like, hey, guys, what the hell? I'm injured, but it's still part of the group, so what's going on?
That's what I mean, do something with him.
Exactly. So they hype us up with, Finn Balor and also Karrion Kross. They had trainings for both guys. Karrion Kross, having, judo, all of that, all more violent.
Yeah, he said going back to his basics, catch wrestling, all that stuff. Like you said, Balor working out. And Balor's a great promo. I just love how he's like, we're going to fight. And at the end of this thing, because he can't keep up with me, that's when he's going to be in that deep water. And that's when he's going to drown. So almost just saying hey, Karen, you can't hang with me. Almost like a fight in every Rocky movie. Rocky always outlasts the bigger, stronger guy because he has that, determination. He has that stamina. And then he wins. That's pretty much what Balor's saying.
Remember what Rocky 3 they used to say, he has that itch, that little itch that is always allows you to get that win. So good promo right there from both men. That's what I like. A small promo just showcasing what you're doing before the match.
Yeah. So but the only thing to just talk about this show as a whole, that was the only. Just touch on this, major match. It wasn't anything in the ring, nothing again. And I mean, it's fine to only touch on something once because you don't want to just keep overexposing it and this and that. But this is your main title feud. This is a feud, and a match that if you talk about it more than once, that's okay because it's your main title picture. The main feud. So I would have liked to see a little more from this, but still a great video package.
Exactly. No, they gave us the same kind of thing with Walter and Tommaso Ciampa, showcasing this. And, like I said, I'm completely taken out of this just because of what's going to happen on Prelude. So, I've said, I will keep saying it, the fact that, they have to merge both brands, like you said, NXT is the older brother, NXT UK is I got to do whatever my older brother says. I'm just completely taken out from this. But a decent promo by Walter showcasing Ciampa's, weaknesses, so to say, is hey, after 2018, the injury in the neck and all of that, you are just a shadow of yourself. So then Ciampa responded and is really? So you see a version of Ciampa more intense, and he was kicking the stuff that he was right there in this small building where he was. So you see Ciampa is yeah, I know that I'm not at my best, but I'm gonna prove you wrong, and I'm gonna show you the best version of me. I got everybody that is my friends. I've been listening. I feel you, kind of like Dusty. Remember,
yep.
In this gathering of the dove, all of that. So very similar, but showcasing, hyping the rivalry here again for me. But I want to hear from you. But for me, I'm taking away because this should be for me Rampage Brown. If
at first I didn't like it, but then the way I'm thinking, it's okay, this is night 1, I believe, correct? So this is on Wednesday. On Wednesday, and then Walter will have his match with Rampage Brown on Thursday. So he's if you think it's okay, well, this would be the next day if we don't count being pre-taped and everything, how it airs on TV. So it's this is the next day. Maybe they told commentary, hey, sell it that he had the match with Ciampa. Sell it that maybe Walter's a little beat up. And then that's maybe how he loses the title to Rampage Brown because he wasn't at his best. So if they connect it all storyline-wise with that, then I'm good. If they don't even mention Ciampa and nothing with that, with Rampage in that match, then I'll be okay, that's kind of bullshit. But, I mean, this will be a great match, but I do understand your feelings of, why it's a little tainted.
I mean, because we cover UK, and, we're excited about Rampage Brown, but like you said, if you're bringing up excellent point. If they connect both stories, I'm good with that. You gave me a way out. So
that's what I mean. As I'm thinking, I'm they can make this legit, but it's WWE and NXT. So
and also that, and they always find ways to not make it legit. They announced that NXT is going to move to the Tuesdays, starting the April 13th show. So we already covered that. We already mentioned this. So we're excited because the Wednesday night wars are over, so we don't have to do double feature. So it's going to be one show every single day for every single one of you. So it's going to be even better for you, family. So Legado del Fantasma, Santos Escobar, he's issuing an open challenge to whoever cruiserweight. He says I want Jordan Devlin to see it. So this is pretty much just hype Santos Escobar for Jordan Devlin. So this was good. Tyler Breeze responds to the challenge. Hey, he's like, hey, you feel that you won the division, you feel entitled. Well, I have to bust my ass for every single thing that I've done here. So they have the match. I accept. Boom. They gave us a pretty good show. Tyler Breeze at the beginning, the first 5 minutes, he dominated completely because he took out both members of Legado del Fantasma and also Santos Escobar.
Yeah, and why are we supposed to believe that, Legado del Fantasma is legit when we constantly see one guy taking them out?
Yeah.
Then whenever they're in a tag match and they look good, I'm like, how am I supposed to believe this?
Yes.
Who's Tyler Breeze? At least when it was Carrion, you're like, okay, but it still buried him. I don't care who it is. It's one guy versus two. Unless this is Brock Lesnar beating up the Singh brothers, to me, then it's a little bit I don't know about that. But, this match was good, but it was just out of nowhere, Tyler Breeze. But like you said, this is just a prolong, okay, what do we do until the match happens at TakeOver? Just random match with Santos. Okay, yeah, go Tyler Breeze. But it was good. I liked it. Tyler Breeze. If you actually did something with him, not in a tag team, I'm sorry, Fandango, you can just go, do whatever the hell you want, but I don't care. Tyler Breeze to me is the star. You put him in a single role like the Prince Pretty, come out with the big vest, the selfie stick, all that. Just bring back that gimmick. I know it might be a little dated, but I don't care. Bring it back. So, do that. And, this guy can do good. But as right now, the way he's been presented in the past, couple months, it's everybody knew Santos was going to win. Exactly. And I was waiting for something to happen, like some kind of sneak attack, something. I'm just
maybe Jordan Devlin, right?
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, just the way they always hot shot everything, but
or like a backstage brawl.
Yeah, exactly.
like Jean Paul's he loves that. So like you said, right there, we got to see the Phantom Driver, and it came out very anticlimactic, so it's fine, because this match is like TV shows. It's not supposed to be great as matches this spot. So he gets the win, but then Legado del Fantasma is about to take care of Tyler Breeze one more time, and then we get to see the return of MSK. So I kind of like how they connected both, the tag team division with the cruiserweights. So they were about to going at it, but then we get to see the Girls Young Veterans, and they cut a really great promo. I don't know how you felt about it, but I like how I said, well, Legado, you guys seem always confused. You guys are just thinking about Santos. You don't worry about the title, so you don't worry about you two getting the championship. And then they go MSK. You live about the memes or about those funny stuff. But it's the only ones that I care about those belts are we. The real young veterans. So we're gonna get the titles on NXT Takeover. So this was good. I like at least those guys should be the champions for me.
No, I agree with you 100%. Just the promo was great. Like they said, MSK, you only care about bullshit. Legado, you only care about Santos, and they do deserve to be the champs. I feel like at NXT TakeOver Stand and Deliver, you have the opportunity to right a lot of wrongs. North American Championship, Tag Team Championships. Put it on the Grizzled Young Veterans. If this is going to be their home and they're not going back to NXT UK, put the belts on them, let them be champs, let MSK chase them. Have that be, maybe they have another feud, whatever, but their goal is always the tag titles and chasing them. And maybe this will be a time for Legado to be not break away from Santos, but to kind of be hey, boss, can we focus on being legit instead of, protecting you 24/7? Because that's what these guys look like, jobbers. And like I said, why are we supposed to believe them in the tag team, capacity when they keep getting beat up 2 against 1? But maybe, hopefully starting from this pay-per-view moving forward, Grizzled Young Veterans kind of lit a fire under their ass.
Yeah, like you said, it's just they need to chase a title. They need to do something instead of just be protecting Santos Escobar. So I agree with you. So let's go, of course, to the weaker part of the show. This show can never be perfect. So there you go. He's finger poke of doom, right? I'm going to be in the Battle Royal and the Golden match, regards. And I'm going to win it, and then you're just going to have to do that. Then you can remain champion. So you see Austin Theory on all of that, the way. Yeah, boring promo. No, nothing of importance right here. Johnny Gargano, unfortunately, every time that he's hold a championship, he's never relevant. He needs to actually chase a championship to be actually.
Yeah, he either wins it and holds it for a week and then loses it, or when he does hold it, he's unbearable and we want him to drop it immediately. And
exactly.
Yeah,
and his version, his babyface heel, absolutely terrible. At least you know what we think. So then we got to see Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell. They were going to have a match because you said this, and last week you said, they're probably going to have a match at TakeOver, and yeah, they got to get you there with a match, and they went against some new signees. And then you see Priscilla Kelly, Darby Allin's ex-wife, and also I think it was Raquel Ramirez, something like that. Sadie Ramirez. It was 2 signees from the NXT. They were together as a tag team also in the Dusty Cup. and then you got to see them, and then the match was pretty quick. Nothing of importance right here. Candice and Indy, they won the match, and then they actually challenged ones right there. They challenged also Shotzi Blackheart and Ember Moon for the match. Challengers respond, and the champions show up. There you go, right there, boom. And then they say, "Oh, we're gonna have a match on NXT Takeover." So, any thoughts on this?
I mean, I really don't know what to think, because it's like, if Gargano was legit, then I would say, oh, and the way they played hot potato with these tag titles, you might as well put them on the way, so they can at least look good. But Johnny is such a shitty heel, and I'm expecting him to lose at Takeover. So I would say no. Maybe they'll lose here. Candice and Indy. So like I said, they won't win. Gargano will lose, and then maybe you split up the way. Maybe Indy and Austin Theory go do their own separate things. But I mean, just this division, I feel like if you really focused on these teams and made them feel special, then I would care a little more. But I mean, I really don't. It's like, if you look, all four of these women's are singles competitors.
Oh yeah,
none of them are actual tag team. It's like, I don't care if they're like, oh yeah, Shotzi and Ember, they kind of have matching gear and all this stuff. Yeah, but they didn't debut as a tag team. Nope. They didn't come in. It's not like Brett and Anvil. Yeah, they debuted as a tag team. They went singles, but you could always put them back together because they debuted as a tag team. Exactly. Harder the other way around.
Exactly. So that's what we have. But like you said, the best way to fix this division a little bit is a brand new division, if you think about it, because the titles are brand new. So if you put it on a heel, and like you said, Shotzi and Indy had a good show in this match. So we'll see. She's learning from on Candice and Indy. My bad. And then if you put them on them, then it will be a lot better for Shotzi and Amber to keep chasing those titles. So let's go with the next one. This is the beginning of all this 3-segment thing. Raquel Gonzalez and Io Shirai, they start this attack backstage. I mean, and all in these attacks, Raquel got the upper hand. So I'm like, why we keep seeing this? So I didn't like this. They went with this one time. We're going to go back to it. But before this, we're going to go to see Roderick Strong. He was actually going to be part of the gauntlet match, but because he sees still, not really focused on what he needs to do, he's still thinking about Undisputed Era. He's like, so I'm going to leave. I'm not ready. So maybe to me, it's like a new gimmick or like a new identity for Roderick Strong later on. So that's good. I feel that he deserves a new opportunity just as a singles competitor.
Yeah, that would be cool if they do something like that with him. But I could really just see them, he's just going to show up during the Adam Cole, Adam Cole and Kyle O'Reilly match. He'll just show up during that because it's unsanctioned, so it don't matter if he gets involved. There won't be like a DQ or nothing like that. So I could easily see that, but I mean, I would rather they do that. And then when he comes back, maybe he just has, trunks that have like an RS on them or something. Nothing,
no more Undisputed
Era. Yeah, that would be nice. But I do like this. It's interesting because if you're a fan of Roderick Strong, you're going to want to see what they do with him next.
Exactly. So I want to see finally a Roderick Strong that can just portray himself as a singles guy. He doesn't need anybody to win gold to
because and also if my pick to win the North American Championship wins it, a returning babyface Roderick Strong would be perfect for him to go against.
So we're going to talk about that towards the end, but let's go with Raquel Gonzalez. She was just attacked by Io Shirai, but then she got the upper hand on that. She goes against Zoe Starks. Zoe Starks, don't you think she got a lot of offense on Raquel? But that's fine because again, every single week we're seeing that they put in a lot of seats, in when it comes to trust in this girl, because Zoe Starks is giving us great performances week to week. What do you think?
Yeah, and that's exactly it. I think they know, this girl's a veteran and she's not just like, oh yeah, look at me, I'm hot and that's how I got my job. No, she's a legit wrestler. She can go, and to put her against their number one contender and who I think is going to be their next women's champion. It's like, okay, maybe like you said, they're setting this up. Who would be a good babyface feud to go against, Raquel? Let's say she wins it. Well, Zoe Stark is right there because, there's no other babyface. You have Ember Moon and Shotzi. I was just talking about them earlier. They're in the tag division. So that's, to me, your two top single babyfaces are now a tag team.
Yes.
So who is there? There's Zoe Stark, or there's the inevitable turn Dakota Kai babyface and have her go against Raquel and all that. But, this was a good match for both women. Of course, Raquel's going to get the big win. And, but I do like what I think Zoe's, what do you call, almost like a sliced bread or something from the top rope?
Yes, it's nice bread, yeah.
Yeah, that was legit, looked good.
That was a pretty good move, yes. Yeah. Like I said, they have a lot of faith in this woman because, they let her, have a lot of offense. And then, of course, Raquel did the same, one hand, one arm like power bomb or like a choke slam. To me, it's like more like a choke slam. They call it a power bomb. Okay, she got the win, but then Io one more time jumps her, and then Raquel retrieves. Like she responds with like just hitting her with one of the plexiglass. Like really, really hard though. I like that. So Io for the second time, and like you said, second, right there back like moment of Io. So she gets all again. Raquel Gonzalez gets the upper hand for the second time, and even Dakota Kai like showed up. So you see like you see the trend of this show, and I don't know why you have to hype this match that much. Like you said, just keep that thought, everybody.
There's honestly no reason.
Yeah, exactly.
There's no reason. It's because it's like if you're trying to sell us on Finn Balor and Walter just on a promo, why do we need to see so far two interactions between these two? And it's not over.
Exactly. And when the one thing that like Io and all the people that she's faced, like every single time we had like really good promos, and that's what got us into the match.
And also like we said, this is the second interaction. And if you want to be technical, they did show when a little sit down, not a sit down, but they were talking to Io last week, and she's like, Raquel kind of kicked your ass. How do you feel about going into the match? And she's like, well, this is why I picked Raquel.
That's why I picked her.
So that's technically this is the third thing we saw of this match. And
there's more. So So let's talk about this. Was like, see, this is the kind of promo that you're supposed to have. This to me was like a movie trailer.
Yes.
Like this was really well put together. Showcasing the whole rivalry. All the time they were friends. This is Jean Paul and myself. When we first met. Really young, 09, really legit. The days of the Undisputed Era. We dominated the NXT brand. We won gold. We pretty much defeated everybody. We jumped everybody. In the words of like Kyle O'Reilly, so that everybody was sick about us. But then, they finished like right there. Unsanctioned, Cole versus O'Reilly. I really enjoy, every single thing about this, like probably 4-minute thing, showcasing everything from these two guys. So I'm excited about this. To me, I think this overshadows a little bit Balor and Karrion Kross. I don't know how you feel. But see, for example, why they give this kind of promo, and then, Balor and Kross is like, so we're just going to be training.
And I agree with that, and that's why I don't think there's really going to be a title change in that match. That's why I think Karrion's just going to lose, and not say he's just going to lose like it's going to be 3 seconds and done. But I think he's going to lose that match. I still think it'll be great, but I feel him and Scarlett are getting called up after me. That's going to be the big thing. Balor's still going to be champ, but this match I feel is the main. This is the main draw. This is it's like the main event. Even though it's not the title picture. It's like this is the main event. This is the thing a lot of people want to see because you've been saying it forever. Is the Undisputed Era going to break up? And they were planting the seeds. And we said, O'Reilly, he's having this singles run, matches against Balor. What's going on? Is this the end? No, they're supporting him. They're supporting him. No, Cole's not. He said, screw it. It's a great story because of how long they've been together. This exactly. I'm excited for this, and like you said, beautifully done trailer.
And that's can you give me the same thing with like Io and Raquel? It would have been fine.
Exactly.
Wasted,
And then you could have had the show end right at 10:00.
Yeah, thank you. No overrun. At least we're not going to see any more overruns, so we're really happy about that. We got to see a dog, and it's not anybody's dog. It's just a dog that like even like Beth Phoenix is like, what's going on in here? So we get to see this dog roaming around the NXT building, like getting in. You said to see NXT, and then showcase it right there. See you on April 13th, Frankie, and everybody knows that that's Taya Valkyrie. Everybody just knows that she's going to be debuting, and that's good that they're doing it in the first show that they're going to be on Tuesdays, and she's not going to even be part of like Takeover delivery. There's not. She's not going to be part of that. It's just like, she's going to debut. So, I'm really, hopeful that they're going to do right to her, and I'm really intrigued by what are they going to do with her. She's going to be babyface, heel. She's a great wrestler. So I'm excited to see her in the NXT brand.
I would say with the stilettos and the dog, it's probably going to be something similar to Carmella. So I'm going to say heel for right now. I'm going to say heel. But I'm excited to see it. And I hope, she's not lumped into the tag division and somebody's partner or like, Robert Stone's like, do you want to sign with me? No, you got to do something legit with her. And, but see, again, tell me a single baby face that would go against her.
Exactly. That you have too many heels because Storm is heel. And
if you call up Io, let's say Io gets called up after WrestleMania, then what? That's your only real big baby face.
Exactly. So yeah, absolutely. I agree with you. So let's go with this one. And you booked this, so you're pretty good at booking. We got to see Casey Catanzaro and Kaden Carter going against Xia Li. And everybody just says like it was a handicap match. But the only thing that like they forgot to go with your idea is actually to make Xia Li look really strong. Which they didn't, because actually Xia Li looked, for me, weak. You know, like in the match, like it was pretty much just Casey and Xia Li going at each other, and also like didn't they say that Casey like did like broke her ACL or something like that? So like in 3 weeks she's good. You know, WWE don't make any sense on that. But then Kaden Carter, she goes to also to Mia Yim, to May Yim, and then like May Yim grabs her by the throat, and then she gives her like the knockout gas, the knockout gas, and then she completely takes out like Kaden Carter. So like it was like opened up because you know Catanzaro was by herself with Xia Li. Xia Li hit like a really nice spinning heel kick, 1, 2, 3, and done. So what do you think of all of this? To me, you know, Xia, like in the way that you were telling me the story, it made much more sense because then Xia looked dominant. And to me, this one looked, oh, do you need the hell of like May Yim to like to win a match?
Yeah, and if you didn't want to completely bury these two, you could have had it maybe in the beginning of the match. You know, they took the advantage because there's two of them. But then when Xia Li maybe isolates one of them, knocks one of them off the apron, you know, you can kind of maybe do something where, you know, because they're dumb baby faces, because all baby faces are dumb in WWE. Maybe, like you said, was it not Mi Yim or whatever her May Yim? Maybe May Yim distracts them somehow, or Boa, or the lights go off. You do some kind of weird bullshit, and then, you know, maybe Xia, you know, after the match just, you know, maybe slams one of them through a table, and then they sell that, and then she drags the other one up to May Yim, and then May Yim can kind of blow the kabuki mist in her face, you know, and then, you know, then she passes out. But yeah, I mean, I just didn't like how this was booked, and to me, this storyline's hanging on by a thread. You know, they had us when Xia Li first came out, was kicking people's ass. Like I said, she needs to go against Io for the title or whatever. You got to push her in that direction. And to me, this is just like kind of not stale, but it's not really exciting me anymore. So.
It's not doing the job because you're not giving me the tools for me to do the job. Why? Because like you said, like if she would have like took care of both of them, like you said, quick, I would have been fine. But no, like they from May Yim and then the knockout, like guys, all of that. I didn't like that at all. So let's go to the fourth one. Like you said, Raquel is cutting a promo with Mackenzie. Io jumps her one more time. And then Raquel showing the power, showing the strength, showing why she's going to win the NXT Women's Championship. She puts her through a wall right there. And then she goes, stay down. So like you see Io like completely done. And, you know, I was like thinking, okay, just giving her like all this, you know, momentum against Io. So like she's going to win. There's no way that like she's not going to win on the 9-1 of NXT TakeOver Deliver. So we'll see what happens, but now let's move on, Paul, to like the main event, and this was like the gauntlet match. The final 6 men will advance to the gauntlet match eliminator match of the first night 1 of Stand and Deliver. So, you know, your thoughts on this? I mean, at the beginning, a little stupid. You know, Isaiah Sir Scott, Leon Ruff, they were the ones that started it. Not really much of interest right here. Austin Theory gets eliminated. He eliminates himself, so that was like the dumb part. You like how like he goes from like being okay, being legit, and now he's okay playing stupid one more time?
Yeah, I mean, I had a lot of like this match was a mixed bag. You know, there was some good stuff in it. You know, I liked the winner. I liked the final 6 to a certain extent. And I also like how there's, you know, if you're doing a battle royal, anything kind of similar to that, you know, the main story doesn't need to be a winner. You can also create a feud out of what happens in this. And they did that with Pete Dunne and Kushida. And I like that. I think that'll be a good match. They eliminated each other. It was, you know, there was 7 of them or 8 of them in the ring, whatever it was. And it was like, okay, you know, these two eliminated each other. So none of them qualified for the gauntlet match. And also before it, Kushida said last week he was the best technical wrestler. This week, Pete Dunne came up to him. He's like, you're bullshit, mate. I already said I'm the best technical wrestler. You know,
don't take my title
here. Yeah, so, I mean, this will be a great feud, you know, coming, you know, hopefully a good feud that leads to maybe a mid-card match, title match, something like that, you know, when the show moves to Tuesday night. So I'm looking forward to this. But like you said, Leon Ruff and everything with that feud needs to be over. To me, there was 2 guys in this match who had go-home heat for me. Heat like Nia Jax, where it's like, I don't even want to see you on my TV.
Get off my
here.
TV, yes.
And it's Leon Ruff and Dexter Lumis. Both of them I have literally no interest in. And it's Leon Ruff. It's because he doesn't belong. Look at him. He look, and no offense to him, but it looks like, you know, would donate $1, feed a starving child. He looks like he would be on the poster for that. He doesn't, you know, need to be in a wrestling ring. You know, no child goes hungry. Get him out of here. And, you know, and Lumis, the whole match, he just stands there.
Yeah, right here, yeah, you're right.
He just stands there, and it's like, yeah, he gets involved a little bit and then stands in the corner. And commentary is like, oh, yeah, Lumis is just standing there watching this. Well, then why don't all the guys go and eliminate him?
Don't you think that like they're trying to recreate in their own way to what like Orange Cassidy is, in AEW?
I mean, kind of, but it's not like Loomis doesn't care. It's that he's just like a deranged psychopath. Orange Cassidy's just like a loser who doesn't care about it. So, I mean, this is. Oh, speaking of that, everybody, don't worry. I'm sure I'll love the match with Orange Cassidy and Chuck Taylor, the arcade, whatever they call it. But
the arcade match, yes.
Yeah, but I mean, the final 6 to me, it was kind of predictable. For it's like, okay, who's going to be in this? But I was happy about the winner, and because I was thinking, is it going to be Bronson Reed? Who's going to win this? But and then Dexter Loomis. It's like, oh man, is because that to me, like I said, he has such awful. Just I don't care about him because I mean, just they drug this character on for so long. He was like Strowman at the time he was at his peak. That's when you should have put a title on him. You didn't. You waited so long. Fans lose interest in this guy. You change his theme. That was a big thing for me.
That was for me a big one.
So it's like, I don't like that. And, Kushida should be the North American champion. He should have won the title at TakeOver. He didn't. And it's all I felt that they were setting it up for Loomis. And I think they were until they signed the winner of this, LA Knight. He's got to beat Gargano. Yeah. And, I think they're like, Loomis, sorry, dude, but, you're not as legit, nowhere close to LA Knight. He's got to beat Gargano. He's got to win that match.
I really like that he didn't play, babyface, or he didn't play dumb in the match because it's Beth Phoenix is like, he's never faced anybody like Dexter Loomis. It didn't matter. It didn't matter. Yeah. He acted good and he won the match. He actually was the one that was playing with Loomis and all of that. So he went through the middle rope. And then he actually pulled the leg, and then he made him hit his face, and then that's how he eliminated Dexter Loomis. He wins. And like you said, I'm excited about this. I like LA Knight. Like, this guy needs to be, and I already predicted it. I said he's going to be the main heel. Once like Karrion Kross gets called up and all of that. I think that he's going to be feuding against Finn Balor. By SummerSlam.
Yeah, hopefully. But I mean, I do want to see him be the North American champion for a while. I feel there's maybe other guys, other heels you can set up. Because let's say Walter loses to Rampage Brown on Thursday. Walter comes over here, boom, give us Finn Balor versus Walter.
That's what it's going to be. Yeah, you're right.
So then, because they teased that for a while, so let's see that match. And, then maybe, LA Knight eventually he can go to Balor or whoever's champ, whatever, after he loses his title.
I feel that's what they're going to do. Even Walter
and is that how the show went off the air, LA Knight?
No.
Okay, legit.
No,
what did we see?
What did we see? That's how the show was supposed to end. Even he was talking to Gargano, and they had like a little interaction. So like you said, they were really kind of teasing the feud. Maybe like a night 2 of NXT Takeover. But no, of course, Io comes out and it starts like we're talking Japanese. That's absolutely fine. But she's calling out Raquel Gonzalez to me. I thought that she was gonna add a stipulation to the match, so I was like, that's fine. She was gonna be maybe no DQ, last women standing, whatever. Anything like that. No holds bar. Just make me something. No. And then, Raquel comes out. Like, I don't know why she needed to come out. If somebody's calling you, I'll be like, girl, it's like the show's over. Like, let's go. Let's get ready for what's going to be next week. And then, like you said, they have to do this famous spot where, like, Io flies against everybody. They all have to just dive, fall down and all of that. I really don't like this, and they just show Io just standing right there. And, Raquel Gonzalez, completely beat up. But, again, this also goes in reverse because when the babyface gets the upper hand in pay-per-view time, what happens? Then the heel will get the win.
Yeah, and I think that's what they were setting up because they're like, oh, shit, the last thing they saw was Raquel, she went over. So, oh, man, we got to put Io over to end the show because Io's going to lose at the pay-per-view. We can't break, our logic code here. But, I mean, this was the final, really. It was 5 times we need to see for this feud, and we only saw once from from the main event
from
feud, the Walter
champion.
feud, and the Adam Cole and O'Reilly feud. It's like, why did we only see those things once, and we had to sit through 4 or 5 segments of this? And it was just too much. And there's only should have been a maximum 4 women out there for this ending thing. Io, maybe Zoe Starks, Dakota Kai, because she's friends with Raquel, and obviously Raquel. what are all these other women doing out there? The only reason they were out there was to catch Io Shirai on the big dive and make it look like it's something crazy and spectacular. No,
Yes.
you know when it was crazy and spectacular? In the Attitude Era, when the fans were hot, they loved what we saw. Not when you have computer screens and maybe 20 people watching this and nobody cares.
Yes, exactly. And then it's like kind of going to like remember the days where Roman Reigns will be like in every single
I
segment.
wish I didn't.
You know, exactly. Yeah, exactly. So like those things is overly done. And this it completely claims it's talking, it's just voicing to us. It's like, oh, WWE writing team. That's how like a writing team. It's not the NXT thing. It's this main roster, like the way that they end the shows to hype you up for like
exactly. And this was 10-10, 10-15 for what?
And we live.
Yeah, there's no reason that the show had to have an overrun for this. No,
we're excited despite of all of this. It's going to be a great 2 nights. There's going to be like matches, like you said, the ladder match is going to be the tag match. There's so many things. Like if you like any certain kind of feud, you have a little bit of it in every single like in both of those nights. Remember, first night's going to be USA, second night's going to be on Peacock. So that's going to be just the review, guys. I hope you liked it. For everybody, please, help us out to create more buzz to keep growing the channel, and also subscribe, hit the bell for notifications, and also give the video a like so the video goes higher in the rankings. So where else can they find us, Paul?
And make sure you follow us, Rope Break on Facebook, OG Rope Break on Twitter, Original Rope Break on Instagram, and of course right here on YouTube, the home of the #1 podcast in the YouTube wrestling community, the Original Rope Break.
So family, don't forget tomorrow's double feature, AEW with Jean Paul. He's ready to watch Miro, Keith Sabian against, or against this guy, Chuck Taylor and Orange Cassidy. He loves that. Orange Cassidy, like self-called Dexter Loomis. So we'll see you tomorrow, family. You and me have one more thing that is left to say, and that is...